You heard the freight train coming, and then it was gone as fast as it came.
Gone, but not easily forgotten.
You can see it light up every time that it hit a transformer.
Taylorville is known for the tornadoes, as in the local high school's mascot. But in the wake of this latest storm, it's also known for something else: toughness.
I continued working for the night and knew I'd have to take care of it in the morning.
Nick Hackney is a firefighter. He was on shift Saturday night when the storm decimated his home, carrying it clear off its foundation. Running on an hour and a half of sleep, he continued to help others before himself.
It's part of the job. I mean, I went through the same thing in 2006. We had a tornado hit and it damaged my home then.
Governor Bruce Rauner and Congressman Rodney Davis toured neighborhoods reduced to rubble. Trees and power lines just snapped like toothpicks.
We'll see whether the level of devastation rises to a level where any federal assistance is possible. We don't know at this point. We don't know whether the same will be done for the state.
This event's personal to me. These are my friends, these are my neighbors, these are the people that I grew up with and still live with.
This is one of the hardest hit areas in Taylorville, from the tree limbs still adorning the sides of the road to roofs that have lost shingles or even had entire chunks blown off in the storm. Most of this type of damage is still congregated on the city's southwestern side, but as neighbors come out to survey the damage and pick up debris, they're also sending a message on the toughness of Taylorville.
That's how Taylorville is. It's all, everybody knows everybody. So everybody pitches in. You don't even know who they are.
Illinois is such a wonderful place because of the way people come together to help each other.
We come together as a community and get things done.
Getting things done in the home of the tornadoes and toughness. In Taylorville, Deron Molen, WAND News.
Dawn, Sean, 2 former employees took plea deals in their custodial sexual misconduct cases, but 2 criminal cases and 3 civil suits still remain. One of them details disturbing allegations made against a women and family services counselor. We are withholding the name of the alleged victim per her request. I spoke to the woman bringing these accusations forward, and she says she just wants accountability.
Few things are stronger than a mother's love. Not distance, not time, not even the bars of this prison.
He came to my door and asked me if I wanted him to call my daughter.
And with just one question from her prison counselor, Jane Doe says she was sucked into a cycle of sexual assault.
We went into the back classroom, and then he started asking me stuff about boyfriends or telling me that I was pretty and just stuff like that. So it switched right when we got alone. At first he kissed me and he was like, "Would you tell anybody if I kissed you?" And I was like, I don't know how to answer that. What kind of question is that?
What was your initial gut reaction when he first asked you that question and then leaned in to kiss you?
Kind of just shock. I don't know, in a way though, you're very vulnerable in that state, and it feels good for somebody to be like, "Oh, you're beautiful," and you know what I'm saying? So it's so confusing. He was also telling me that I would get in trouble too and stuff like that, so I wouldn't say anything. Even trying to get out of a situation like that, the people that you're gonna go to get out of that situation are the ones that are doing it.
What was going through your mind just day to day as you're just going about your day there at Logan?
I gotta do what I gotta do to call my kid. I have to do what I have to do to get by in this place.
What did those phone calls, those few minutes on the phone with your daughter, what did they mean to you while you were at Logan?
Everything, because the first 2 years I was in there, I didn't get to talk to her at all. He would even call and be like, "Oh, do you want to call your daughter?" Because I only had every other week, bi-weekly phone calls with them, and I was getting way more than that, so it was kind of using that as a tool to get me to where he wanted me to be.
Jane says her counselor continued to escalate the encounters and would touch himself while she was on the phone with her daughter. She says she endured all of it to keep hearing her daughter's voice once a week.
Did he ever take things a step further than that?
Yes.
How so?
I don't really know how to say that. I don't really want to get into details, but there was 3 occasions, as I can recall right this second, that were more than just kissing.
Did he try to force himself on you in any way?
Yes.
A lawsuit Jane filed through the Uptown People's Law Center in Chicago details those harrowing allegations. In it, Jane accuses her counselor of forcing her to perform oral sex and engage in sexual intercourse.
I even got moved to other housing units that he wasn't supposed to be the counselor. I was supposed to get transferred to a new counselor, and he somehow was still my counselor.
The Department of Corrections eventually transferred her to Decatur Correctional Center, a move Jane believes was done in retaliation for the allegations against her counselor. Now out of prison, she's fighting back against her alleged abuser and for the women still inside Logan Correctional Center who can't share their stories.
What does justice look like to you?
I would like for a sincere apology. I don't think that's going to happen. I would like for him to admit what he did and know that it was wrong.
Jane Doe also said she knew of at least 3 other inmates who had an intimate relationship with this counselor. We are also withholding the name of the counselor until we can independently verify there is a criminal or internal investigation into his conduct. WAND News reached out to Illinois State Police to confirm if there was an active investigation into this particular counselor. ISP declined to confirm that investigation, but did say its investigators are looking into Logan Correctional Center as a whole. In the studio, Deron Molen, WAND News. Dawn, Sean, the City Council voted 9-4 in favor of extending that curfew to be year-round, but community leaders don't want to just stop there. They hope organized summer activities like a game of basketball can also keep kids out of trouble. For 13-year-old Xavier Stewart, basketball is a summer rite of passage.
When you make a shot, when you under pressure, oh my gosh, that's the best part.
For Bobo Smalls, it's a safe haven for kids in his neighborhood.
We're really trying to get our community back the way it used to be.
The reminders are all around them, a faded basketball underneath a tree, wooden crosses signifying a life lost too soon.
We love our kids.
Danville Alderman R.J. Davis has had enough of the violence in his city, particularly that involving kids. He, along with 8 other aldermen, voted in favor of extending the city's curfew year-round.
If the parents don't do it, then we officials, the city has to take the responsibility.
The curfew is a good thing.
But 4 aldermen voted against it, and Xavier agrees, saying it cuts into his time on the court.
Sometimes I just want to stay out here for a long time.
But regardless of whether it's a curfew or just kids occupying themselves with a timeless game on the basketball court, Davis, Smalls, and Xavier all agree on one thing. The violence has to stop. And slowly but surely, it is.
It's getting better. Like, I haven't heard nobody shooting around here for a while.
The curfew starts at 9 p.m. Sunday nights through Thursday nights and at 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Now, Alderman Davis did say there are exceptions in place for any kids coming back from a job that gets out late or a late event here in town. In Danville, Deron Molen, WAND News.